Hi, it's Jeff Alpin, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to Career Coach Office Hours. I am all ears today. Hopefully, our government is as well as Americans go to the polls. I'll just remind you, if you haven't voted yet, please go vote. It does make a difference. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not even going to suggest what parties or candidates to vote for. Just go vote, okay? And today, with Career Coach Office Hours, I field questions from people. And thus, if you've got a question about job search, hiring, management, leadership, career transitions, or want advice about a workplace issue, put your question into chat. I'd be very happy to answer it for you. I'll also mention if in the future you can't make the show, which I do Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and on LinkedIn. If you can't make the show, you can always message me through LinkedIn. My page there is linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. See, it's on the screen. There you can follow me or connect with me as well. Your network will grow a lot as a result of being connected with me. Also, go to my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. There you can schedule time for a free discovery call, which is really an introductory call with me. You can also schedule time for a paid coaching session with me. You can visit my blog, which has more than 12,000 searchable posts. Find out about my courses, books, and guides. There's just a lot there to help you. Also, I've got a YouTube channel at JobSearchTV.com, which has 12,000 videos plus on it. I'm sorry, 7,000 videos on it. My blog at my website has more than 12,000 searchable posts that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you in all those categories. And I'll just simply say JobSearchTV.com is a great resource. It's also available on Amazon. So if you've got a Fire TV or a Fire Stick, you can watch me on Amazon. Also, there's an app called BingeNetworks.tv that you can watch me on. That streams to about 300 different streaming services around the world. English language, of course. And my podcast, No BS Job Search Advice Radio, which on Monday, yesterday, celebrated episode 2,500. Yeah, episode 2,500. It's a great show. It's part of a two-part series that I'm doing on lessons learned from the show. But it's a Monday through Friday podcast that appears on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, where it's a video podcast, Amazon Music, Google Play, pretty much all the major streaming services around the world. You'll be able to pick up No BS Job Search Advice Radio. And I share a lot of good content. Connect or follow with me on LinkedIn. Again, linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. And I'll just remind you, if you've got a question, put it into chat. I'd be very happy to answer it. I've received questions in advance I'm going to work with. And the first one is the classic. Why do companies hire staffing agencies for recruitment? I'm tempted to be snotty, but I won't. They hire them because they think that it will help them do what they don't have time themselves to do. Find people. See, for most job hunters, you think they just run ads and apply for positions, and people apply for positions and they fill jobs. What recruitment agencies, what staffing agencies are able to do is go out and aggressively locate people who may not be actively on the market. As I coined the expression many years ago, they find the best person who's available, not the best person who sees an ad. And thus, they're able to dig in deeper because they have the time. They have the concentrated motivation to do this because staffing agencies are contingency firms. meaning that they're only paid if they deliver results. Results are not resumes, results are hires. As a result, companies hire staffing agencies for recruiting to help them find people they might not otherwise find for themselves, to help them fill positions that they consider important to have filled. So that's why they do it. Okay. Let's see now. Oh, yes. What should software developers do next when they are put on a performance improvement plan? You weren't paying attention, were you? Normally, when a firm puts someone on a performance improvement plan, or PIP, PIP, performance improvement plan, PIP, what they do at that time, and TJ, howdy, how are you? What they do at the time is to tell people what the issues are. They tell them what it is they need to work on. And thus, you were told what it is to work on. And given the fact that you may have been shocked and weren't listening all that carefully because you were too busy being shocked, and again, if I were in your shoes, I might respond that way too. What I want to encourage you to do is ask your manager and or HR for a copy of the write-up that prompted them to put you on the PIP and what the requirements were for you to stay with the firm after the 30 days were up, because normally that's what happens. You're given a 30-day performance improvement plan, and if yours is longer, great, you have more time. But you want to get a copy in writing of the performance improvement plan, and you tell them, I want to hit these markers. I want to be still working here at the end of the deadline. And then once you start working on them, I want you to schedule a regular weekly meeting with your manager to keep she or he updated on what you've been doing, so that this way you're not just walking in on day 30 and telling them, hey, good news, I've been doing all the right stuff. Woo-hoo! And winding up in a situation where they're kind of surprised. They've already recommended your termination, as they might be prone to do, because HR will check in with them and go, how's she doing? How's he doing? And they may say, I have no idea. So they'll start preparing the termination paperwork in advance, so at the 30-day mark, they can just hand it to you. So I'll just simply say what you should be doing is what it is in the performance improvement plan that you have to improve on, and notifying your manager along the way, ideally weekly. If it needs to be more than that, make it more than that. But start off with a minimum of once a week. You're sitting down with your manager to run by she or he what it is you've been doing to satisfy the performance requirements. Why does this recruiter tell me to contact? Oh, I already answered that the last time. What are you doing resending this question? Go listen to either the last live stream or the one before that. It will have the answer to this question. But before you do that, the short answer is, they may not have anything for you. They just want to know if you might be available. That doesn't mean that they have a job that you'd be qualified for. Okay. Oh, I love this one. Should managers and employees be friends? Ooh, definitely not more than friends. I want to be clear about that. So here's where I see a problem with that. Managers, employees can be friends as long as employees understand that there are times that a manager is going to give them some tough love, make demands that may not coincide with how you'd expect a friend to deal with you. I'd like to say it's okay to be friendly, but not friends, because what often happens is each party to this, the manager and the employee, confuses the friendship with the professional relationship too. And managers have a different responsibility than their staff, right? So I'll just simply say, I believe you should be friendly without being friends uh, to ensure that you as a manager can feel comfortable asserting yourself at the right times for a particular situation that needs escalation, if you know what I mean. This was just snark. Um, if leadership is unaware of a problem, does it exist? So there are two ways to answer this. The first one is maybe it's not a problem. Seriously, maybe it's not a problem. Maybe you think it's a problem. Maybe they don't think it's a problem. Now, the other way to answer this is, of course, it exists. But I don't know the scenario here, whether this legitimately is a problem or whether you, because you're less senior, view it that way and they don't. Okay. I'll just remind you, if you've got a question about job search, hiring more effectively, management, leadership, dealing with a workplace issue in some way, shape, or form, or maybe a career transition, put your question into chat. I'd be very happy to answer it for you. And remember, people hire me for no BS career advice. That's why you go to my blog for answers to a lot of your questions. And if it's not there, very simply schedule time for a coaching session with me. It's paid, of course, or where you get answers to your questions, or a free discovery call to evaluate me for coaching. Okay. Did I just copy the same question again? No, I did. Sorry. Yeah, I copied the same question again. Let me go back to the list. My apologies. Is it a good sign that a recruiter will give me an update by next week during a phone screen? I think your grammar is terrible. I'll just simply say, is it a good sign that a recruiter wants to give me an update next week? And they tell me that during a phone screen. The answer is no, it doesn't mean anything. They just want to bring this to a successful conclusion in some way by next week. Maybe it's they want to bring you back. Maybe they're going to reject you. We don't know, because we don't only know that they made this statement to you, which doesn't say anything. So if they said more than that, just put it into chat so I can address it during today's session, okay? The question for me, put it into chat. Be very happy to answer it. When an executive at the company where you've been doing contract work is keeping you in the dark about the status of an offer to hire you full time, does it do any harm to look for another job in the meantime? See? In the meantime. So the answer is no. It's not a problem from your standpoint. It's a requirement from your standpoint that you start looking for something else while they're keeping you in the dark, making a decision on their side, or not wanting to lose you, so they're not telling you anything because they already know they can't extend you. Excuse me. Unless you're wealthy and money doesn't matter to you, you should be starting to network and applying for things in order to ensure you continue to work. So get out there, start talking to people, start getting interviews for yourself, perform well, get hired for the end of the contract, okay? What happens when a good employee quits their job to go work at a better, what they think will be a better place, but isn't, and within months tries to return to their old job? The answer is don't know. They could have been relieved that you are leaving or that you left, They could try and bring you back. They might have replaced you already and they only have one spot that relates to someone with your background and they don't want to take you back. So I don't know the answer to this. Those are the three options in the decision tree that they have to work with, that you have to work with. Okay. And we go on to the next one. Why are many different jobs wanting pre-recorded virtual interviews? Because it saves them time. Seriously, it saves them time. Imagine for a second, you're a large organization and coming into your applicant tracking system is 100 resumes an hour. That's not unusual, 100 resumes an hour. Now, if they're going to schedule time to talk with each person, and remember, every hour there's another 100 resumes until they get to the point that they're 800 resumes for this new job that they posted. And then all night, there are more resumes coming in. And all the next day, there are more resumes coming in. There's no way that they can speak to everyone. So what they do with pre-recorded virtual resumes is some of these systems will have the ability to discern what was said and decide whether you're qualified based upon what they've been told to listen for. So they want pre-recorded answers for virtual interviews to save them time in order to ensure that their systems can figure out whether you say the magic keywords that will demonstrate that you're qualified for a particular job. Okay, that's what's going on here. Let's continue on. Should employers include personality interview questions when assessing job applicants? How? Here's the problem. If people are asked different personality questions, then bias creeps into the process. Someone can file suit and sue the company and you individually and as an employee of the firm, and the firm itself, by the way, because you ask different people different questions. Have these questions been benchmarked and assessed for whether or not they're non-discriminatory? There's lots of different things along these lines that show up. But the long and the short of it is, should they do it? Most shouldn't. Most shouldn't, because it's a way that bias shows up. Discriminatory behavior shows up that can cause legal problems. Okay? So put your questions about job search, hiring, management, leadership, career transition, and advice about particular workplace issues. Put them into chat. I'd be happy to answer your question. And to continue on. Sorry, went to the wrong spot. My apologies. Is the secret to getting an application through on a job site purely buzzword bingo? No. Now, I'm not sure what you mean by buzzword bingo. I think of it as buzzword bingo as being keyword stuffing terms into the beginning of your resume to get yourself an interview. Don't do that. What you want to be doing is, let me pause for a second and say, in addition to buzzwords, in other words, representation of your experience that demonstrates you're fit for the job. They're looking at job history. Are you at the right level of experience? Do you have the right experience? You may view that as buzzwords, but how you tell the story in your resume will make a difference about you being selected for even an interview. So get out there, start talking to people. It's not about buzzword bingo. It's about, well, getting the interview involves representations of your experience and meshing them with the job description so that a firm knows that you're qualified, you're interested, you're available. Okay, let's keep going. Do job seekers benefit a lot from LinkedIn Learning? I think there are multiple people who benefit from LinkedIn Learning. Obviously, ones whose skills have gotten rusty benefit from LinkedIn Learning. But the other group are those who want to learn something and go to work in a field where they can leverage that experience to get a job. So, do they benefit from from LinkedIn Learning? Absolutely. Rusty people get to improve their skills. In addition, people who want to learn new stuff can learn it very inexpensively. And I say that because LinkedIn Learning is free to those who have some version of LinkedIn Premium accounts. Okay? So, unless I see another question in chat, I'm Jeff Altman. I hope you found this show helpful. If you did and you're watching on YouTube, share it, leave a comment, click the like button, do something so that people know it was worthwhile. Also, connect or follow me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you saw this show. I like knowing I'm helping folks. And once we're connected, my network is a lot bigger than yours. Also, my website, thebiggamehunter.us, is a place where you can schedule time for a free discovery call, a coaching session. You can visit my blog, which has more than 12,000 searchable posts you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you saw this. I like knowing I'm helping folks. And once we're connected, my network is a lot bigger than yours. I hope you have a terrific day. And most importantly, be great. Take care.